Morning, First Love family. It's devotion time once again, this beautiful late summer day. And as usual, we're broadcasting live from First Love's podcast studio, upstairs, the upper room, if you want to call it that. We're going to be looking at something that's not that popular with a lot of people, evidently. And I got a title for this one. It's called Test Him. He's as good as His Word. So Malachi chapter 3, which you should all have memorized by now as often as we talk about it, says, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And try me now in this." Now, can you imagine there not being food in God's house, the creator of the universe, the absolute sovereign king of everything that exists? Can you imagine there not being food in the pantry? Can you imagine there no food in his refrigerator or in his cupboards? I can't even begin to imagine that. I would feel ashamed. And so he says, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, says the Lord of hosts." And then he says, "And now try me on this, test me, see if I don't do exactly what I say I'm going to do. Now try me on this, says the Lord of hosts. If I will not open up for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such a blessing that there will not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes." So he's saying, test me. Out of all the promises, thousands of promises that God makes in the Bible, in every book he makes promises. And he says, this is the only one where he says, you can test me on this. Why is that? Because he knows that in our finite minds, the most important thing is, two most important things are time and money. And when he says, test me, see if I'm not serious, see if I won't give you what I'm saying I will give you, what I'm promising to you right now. Because that makes us more likely to go, okay, I'll test you on this. And then we do, or we don't. But when we do, we discover that he's being truthful and honest, and that the blessings that he pours out onto us are more than we ever imagined they could be. And he says, I'm going to pour out blessing. There will not be enough room to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, so that he will not destroy the fruit of your ground, nor shall the vine fail to bear fruit for you in the field, says the Lord of hosts. That's pretty heavy. You will be successful. You will reap the benefit of your faith in believing what God says. And it's funny to me because we'll take him at his word in Romans when he says, if you believe with your heart and you speak it with your mouth, you'll be saved. And yet, we take those promises and we believe in them. Okay, I believe I'm saved because I prayed to the Lord and I've asked him. I prayed a prayer of salvation. And yet, we won't believe him in the one place where he makes a promise and challenges us to test him. And it seems kind of strange to me that people wouldn't just want to try it. Try it for a month. Give him 10% of your income for a month and see. I know, because this has happened to me. It's happened to Ben. It's happened to Brooks. It's happened to a lot of people in this church where they're like, okay, I'm going to do it. And within a month, they're raving about how much the Lord has improved their financial status, their sense of peace, their sense of trust. All these things. I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. Maybe the devil's trying to take out your family. Maybe the devil's trying to take out your profession. Maybe the devil's trying to just make you feel unsettled and diseased or whatever it might be. And suddenly there's peace. Suddenly there's confidence. Suddenly there's all the good things that you need to give you a smile on your face every day. Just because you tested God. Because you believed him for what he said. There will not be enough room to receive it, he says. He's going to pour out such a blessing that there will not be enough room to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, so that he will not destroy the fruit of your ground, nor shall the vine fail to bear fruit for you in the field. says the Lord of hosts. He's the shot caller over everything, you guys. And if he says, hey, I'll do this for you, it's not like he's going to get too busy or forget or decide that, well, you were naughty last week. I'm not going to do it this week. No. He will always be faithful to fulfill his promises, so that he will not destroy the fruit of your ground, nor shall the vine fail to bear fruit for you in the field, says the Lord of hosts. And all nations will call you blessed, for you will be a delightful land, says the Lord of hosts. Family, check it out. I hope you're having a great day. I do. And we have all heard this passage many times, but think of it like this. He basically says, test me. Test me in this. See if I don't keep my promise and pour out abundance and safety and cover you every which way. Folks, he makes a million promises, and we quote them all the time from Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. With all your heart, and he will direct your paths. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his promises. We quote them to our friends, and we claim them for ourselves when we are discouraged because we believe them. And on the passage where he offers to let us test him, we waffle. We waffle and allow fear that he will hold back something, that he's given us his word to provide, that he's going to hold it back. And that fear will lodge in our minds, and it will deteriorate other areas of our faith and our performance, not so much performance, but our ability to trust God and follow through, believing in his actions and his statements. He's given his word to take up lodging in our minds. Come on, family. Trust him. Take him at his word. Try him at his word. Just try it. Just try it. I promise you'll be very happy you did, as Don and I are, and so many other people in this church. But like I always say, it's 5% of the people providing 25%. It's 5% of the people providing 95% of the work, 95% of the finances, and it shouldn't be like this. The pastor shouldn't have to beg the congregation for money. Shouldn't have to remind the congregation of all these things. Why? Because God has always been faithful. Think of from where he brought you. Think of from where he brought you, where you have a place to come every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Friday. All the things that we do, the baptism that we're about to have. When did you ever have these blessings before? When? When have you ever had such a faithful church family that loves you and supports you and really cuddles you? Just try it. You know what? I'm going to go out there on a limb. I'm going to say this. I'd be happy to show you our tithing report for the last 18 years. There's a thing in our bookkeeping program called, what is it called? Income by Donor Summary. And Don and I are in there, just like everybody who tithes is in there from the first time we did a service, 18 years ago. You want to see mine? Ask me. I'll show it to you. It'll surprise you. Anyway, God bless you, my family. I love you. Don loves you. All of our leadership loves you. Really loves you. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll see you the next time the doors open. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Have a great day. God bless.
I was a dead man walking until you left this dead man walking back to life.
This is First Love Church. Welcome home.